Welcome back, 7th graders. I hope you had a wonderful and blessed Easter. Today we will be talking about the divisions of the Puthangur community in Lesson 19. In this lesson, we will go over the introduction, the Puthangur community and their relationship with the CMS, the Synod of Mullam Turati, and the starting of the Marthama Church, the Synod of Mullam Turati, the transformation of Puthangur community into the Jacobite Church, the establishment of the Catholicate and the Jacobite Church, the establishment of the Catholicate and the Jacobite and the Orthodox Church. So let's begin. The slanting cross oath was taken on January 3rd, 1653, and there were two groups, the Pare Kutakar and the Puthan Kutakar. The Pare Kutakar was under Bishop Parambil Chandi Katanar and followed the Eastern Syrian liturgy, allegiance to the Pope of Rome. The Puthan Kutakar, or the Jacobites, were under Bishop Archdeacon Thoma, under the Antiochian liturgy, allegiance to the Jacobite Bishop of Antioch. The close of the 18th century marked the beginning of changes in the Kerala Church. The British Dominion was established in Kerala from 1792. The English missionaries began to learn more about the Puthangur community. The Church Missionary Society, CMS, was formed in 1799 in London by the evangelical clergy of the Church of England. The CMS was invited by Colonel Munro, a resident of Travancore, to start their mission in Kerala in 1860 at Alleppey, which is a city in Kerala. Colonel Munro helped Malankara Nasranis, or Christians, in several ways and influenced the members of the Puthangur community. He started the English medium school to the members of the Puthangur community at Kottayam, which is also a city in Kerala. They also started the clerical seminary, School of Theology at Kottayam. The churches that were used by Pare Kutakar and Puthan Kutakar were given solely the Puthangur community. Because of the influence of English missionaries among Puthangur community, the missionaries from CMS were permitted to preach in the Puthangur community as they willed. The missionaries disseminated Protestant ideas and the ideas of Reformation in the Puthangur churches. Some of the new proposals from CMS were: remove intercessory prayers to the Mother of God and to the saints. Priests can marry. Allowed to make changes in the liturgy according to the thinking of Reformation, and to vernacularize the liturgy. The CMS missionaries eventually began to work against the rites and rituals of the Puthangur community. Due to the conflict, and since the works of the missionaries were detrimental to the church, a synod at Mavlikara was convened. The synod decided to stop all the relationship with the English missionaries. However, around 6,000 members from Puthangur community left the church and decided to join the CMS and to follow the Protestant ideas. Even though the Puthangur community severed the relationship with the CMS missionaries, many priests and people continued to foster the ideas of the Church Reformation. Palakunathu Abraham Malpan was one among the Puthangur community who gave leadership to Church Reformation ideas. The reigning bishop of Puthangur community that time, Chepat Mar Divanisios, excommunicated Abraham Malpan and his followers from the church. Abraham Malpan sent Deacon Mathan from his group to Antioch and was ordained as Bishop Matthews Mar Athanasios by the Jacobite Patriarch of Antioch. Bishop Matthews Mar Athanasios returned to Kerala from Antioch in 1842 and tried for the reformation of the Puthangur community. A synod was held at Mullam Turati, which is a city in Kerala, in 1876 after the synod. The Puthangur parishes were divided among 7 dioceses: Kollam, Tumpamon, Kottayam, Angamali, Kandanar, Kochi, and Miranam. Bishop Matthews Mar Athanasios, who propagated the ideas of Reformation, and his followers were excommunicated from the church. Bishop Matthews Mar Athanasios appointed Thomas Mar Athanasios to lead the Reformed community. Later, they adopted the name Marthomites. The headquarters of Marthomites is now in Tiruvalla. Now let's talk about the transformation of Puthangur community into the Jacobite Church. The Synod of Mulamthurati was held in 1876 under the leadership of the Jacobite Patriarch Mar Peter III, Antioch. The Puthangur community under the leadership of Mar Dionysios came under the Antiochian Jacobite Patriarch and became a part of the Jacobite Church at the Synod of Mulamthurati. They accepted Antiochian Patriarch as the head of Puthangur community and took the name Jacobites. Thus, the Puthangur community that resisted the Portuguese foreign rule accepted the Antiochian foreign rule. Puthangur community separated from Paregur community and were not in good terms with the Pope of Rome. After the separation of Marthomite, the Puthangur community, or the Jacobites, was under the leadership of Pulicotal Mar Dionysios. During that time, the leaders of the local church submitted a memorandum to the Patriarch that the Jacobites of Kerala needed a Catholicate, and the request was rejected by the Patriarch. After the demise of Pulicotal Mar Dionysios, Bhattacharya Mar Dionysios became the Archbishop of the Jacobites, Puthangur, in 1909. Bhattacharya Mar Dionysios and a group of Jacobites opposed the idea of having all the spiritual and temporal authorities by the Patriarch of Antioch. This led to excommunication of Bhattacharya Mar Dionysios from the Jacobite Church by Antioch, and they appointed Paulos Mar Kyrillos as the Malankara Metropolitan. Thus, the group among Jacobites who fully accepted the Patriarch came to known as the Patriarch Party, and the other group which accepted the spiritual aspect of Patriarch was known as the Metropolitan Party. Next, let's talk about the establishment of the Catholicate. The Metropolitan Party under Bishop Bhattacharya Mar Dionysios was excommunicated. He contacted another patriarch in Antioch named Abded Mishia. Patriarch Abded Mishia annulled the excommunication of Bhattacharya Mar Dionysios. The Patriarch Abded established a Catholicate in Malankara and installed a Catholicos by the name of Paulos Mar Basilios. The meaning of the word Catholicos is head of the church. The Metropolitan Party belonging to the Jacobite Church accepted the title Malankara Orthodox Church and the Patriarch Party as Jacobites. Each group has its own metropolitan and administration. The center of the Jacobites is at the Muvattupura, and the center of Malankara Orthodox Church is Kottayam. In conclusion, with the coming of the Portuguese, there was the division of the church, the Malankara Church, to Puthangur and Paregur. With the arrival of the British, the CMS and the Marthomites were separated from the Puthangur community. With the Antioch relationship, the Puthangur community is further divided into Jacobite and the Orthodox. All the splits of the church are to be considered due to weakness of human nature and due to the special circumstances that prevailed in each period. The only remedy for that is to come back from split to unity. If split is due to human weakness, unity is the gift of the Holy Spirit. The desire of the Puthangur community for reunion is to be considered as a result of the work of the Holy Spirit. Here's your verse for today. That they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us. John chapter 17, verse 21. Here are your questions to review for this lesson. Describe the relationship of the Puthangara community with the CMS. Describe the beginning of the Marthamite Church. Finally, how was the Puthangara community divided into Jacobite and Orthodox churches? All right, 7th graders, well, that's all for Sunday School today, so don't forget to review your lessons as well as your questions. Have a wonderful and blessed week. Bye.